this special episode of the Happiest Podcast, we have my brother, Mr. Grant Kendzior, who is a serial entrepreneur, founder of Eco Breakthroughs, and director of strategic partnerships at 4Ocean. He shares with us all about why masterminds are entrepreneurs' secret weapon. And I truly believe that masterminds are the catalyst to success, personally and professionally. We're going to be diving into this episode of the Happiest Podcast. Do you want blissful balance in your personal and professional life? Great. What's up, guys? My name is Kerry Jack, and I want to help you happy hustle a life you love, one full of passion, purpose, and positive impact. I'm a lifestyle entrepreneur, a professional model / actor, a digital marketing specialist, a podcast host, author, a biohacker, an eco warrior, a martial artist, a hippie cowboy, and a humanitarian. My goal is to educate, inspire, and entertain you to live a life of passion, purpose, and positive impact. It is time to happy hustle your dream reality. Yee! What is up, you beautiful happy hustlers out there? Kerry Jack here, and I hope you are having a super blessed day. Truly, just enjoying this very moment right here and right now, baby. And in this episode of the Happy Hustle Podcast, we have on my brother, Mr. Grant Kendzior, and we are talking all about why masterminds are entrepreneurs' secret weapon. And this is a topic that is very near and dear to my heart, as I know it is my brother's, because we both have run masterminds, been a part of other people's masterminds, have created mastermind communities from scratch, and all of the above. And I really think this would be one of the secrets to success. What would you say about masterminds?
Well, thank you for having me, first of all. I'm always grateful to be here and grateful to share some wisdom with all you happy hustlers out there. You know, masterminds are so crucial for your success, however you define success, but, really your network is your net worth at the end of the day. So being able to, really connect with people too, not just transactional relationships, but to forge, long-term relationships. They're going to be, so beneficial in your career, whatever that industry is that you work in. But for all you entrepreneurs out there, if you're really looking to grow, like you grow by being around people that are going to push you, in order to really level up your game, you need to, spend quality time with people of quality, right? And getting access to those people, sometimes the best way is through masterminds. So, it's been a huge, point of my life, it's helped me grow, and, very grateful for, all the experiences Kerry and I have had, hosting some masterminds as well. So, love to dive in and talk to you a little bit more about that.
And to your point, I mean, I think for us, that has been a catalyst in our journey, being able to network, being able to meet amazing people, and really just elevate our energy and our businesses in the process. Before we get too deep in the weeds, why don't you give people a quick introduction to you and your business? For those of you who don't know, Grant has been featured on the podcast a couple times in the past, and we will link to those episodes if you want to go deep into his story. But give the happy hustlers out there who don't know Grant and your business a little bit of insight.
Hard to summarize in a couple minutes, but really, just live a life of purpose, trying to serve our natural environments. I'm deeply connected to nature, and I founded a couple different businesses, focus on restoring the sacred balance between us and the planet and using the power of business as a force for good. So, currently I'm the founder of Eco Breakthroughs that runs a lot of consulting, helping, sustainable companies grow and other, big brands become more sustainable. And one of my, main contract clients now is 4Ocean. So I work with 4Ocean, representing them, heading up their strategic, partnerships and, really forging business to business relationships for 4Ocean, which, if you don't know, we're the world's largest ocean cleanup company. Have pulled 29 million pounds of plastic out of the ocean and employ 250 captains and crews, serving our world's oceans, rivers, and coastlines daily, pulling plastic and trash from our ocean.
Yeah, very noble businesses that Grant's involved with. Personally, I am an eco warrior. I very much believe in using the power of business as a force for good. I'm a part of Eco Breakthroughs in a small advisory role, and I really am proud of Grant and what he's accomplished in this eco space, and especially consulting. I know Alex from Four Ocean as well, and it's an amazing company that's really cleaning up our environment. And it's powerful to use business as a force for good, and especially when you can really make money in the process, right? Because there's a lot of nonprofits out there, and I think oftentimes they reek of desperation because they don't have their operations in order. But when you can leverage the people and the planet and the profits properly, and you know can do it transparently, as Grant has done with other B corporations as well in the same breath. I think that is what life's all about. That's happy hustling, helping others, helping the planet, and helping yourself. Just happy hustle, a life that you love. So very awesome stuff there. I know people are probably wondering, okay, we're talking about masterminds and why it's a secret weapon for entrepreneurs. Why do you think it's a secret weapon for entrepreneurs?
Kind of like I spoke about in the introduction there, really masterminds is for, in one, having the accountability and like that brotherhood, sisterhood that you're going to be, a part of, but really it's that deeper connection that you're going to forge, right? I've been to thousands of events, keynoted at, hundreds of events as well, and when you go there, you might leave with 20, 50, 100 business cards, but they're very transactional relationships, mm-hmm. right? So at Masterminds, you have an opportunity to really get to know one another, and you have a long-term relationship with them too. So like, with the Happy Hustle Club that I'm happily a part of, like we meet every 2 weeks. And like having that, and then we meet at the events every year as well. So like we're talking with each other every couple of weeks, really building friendship and brotherhood, and trust, right? Mm-hmm. You only want to do business with the people you trust. And at a conference setting, you don't forge that kind of trust like you do in a mastermind. Mm-hmm. So, the key things in any sales role, if you're trying to get investment or sell a new partnership or sell, your product or service, that person has to trust you. And by spending quality time with them, not 5 minutes over a coffee or a beer, at an event, but truly getting to know them, what drives them, their family, just doing things where you're not just talking and pitching yourself, like we do in the Montana Mastermind. If you're going to, go fishing together and just having small talk, you're building a deeper relationship. And those relationships are the most valuable thing you are going to be able to leverage for your future, right? So, not just being able to, think of them in a way where like, what can I get out of them, or what can, I sell them, but how can I help them, and like when you start to spend that quality time in masterminds, you really find people that are genuine and really want to help and come to serve. And that forges this trust, this bond, and from there, really it's limitless where those relationships will grow. I have lifetime friends that started as mastermind partners, mm-hmm. and now 15 years of being in masterminds, they're still like brothers and family.
Yeah. You mentioned trust. I think that is so invaluable. When you're building a business, you're building a brand, when you're building yourself, you need to be able to exude trust as well as trust others who could help support your growth, and also keep it real. Like that's the one thing you mentioned too. You build enough trust where that you can keep it real. If Grant is maybe slacking one week, I can say in all honesty, hey man, like this probably isn't going to get you where you want to go. And you'll listen because we have that trust. Obviously we're brothers, so we can naturally communicate like that. But that's the kind of that's the kind of trust that you build inside of a mastermind. And, this isn't one long pitch for the Happy Hustle Club, our mastermind, or anything regarding that. This is like strictly for you to search out and find the right community that can help you grow and ultimately happy hustle your dream reality. So this is an important point here though, Grant, because there is a lot of different communities out there. There are unfortunately furus, fake gurus. How do you choose the right mastermind? Like what do you look for in a mastermind, and what should the happy hustlers look for when picking a mastermind?
For me, it's the people's that lives that I really would like to trade shoes with, right?
Mm,
It's not just your get rich quick scheme, but it's like I don't value people by their bank account. I've been around enough billionaires and politicians or how much power they hold. That doesn't impress me. It's the people that are balanced, the people that are living the lifestyle that I would want to have one day.
mm,
So I'm always elevating my group. And over the last 15 years, I'm looking at people that are going to push me. I want to be the weakest one in the room. I want to have that imposter syndrome because
mm.
then I'm in the right room that's going to push me to where I want to be. I don't want to be in a place where I'm in a room full of people that like are looking for me to always for advice. I want people that have kind of been there, done that in the way in where I want to go. Right. So I look at people that are 5, 10, maybe 20 years ahead of where I'm at today, and have that wisdom that I can, glean from, and that I can add my value from my unique generational perspective and my environmental perspective to aid them and their businesses and their life. So,
Yeah. No, that's so true. Like having people who are where you want to be. That's actually my rule when it comes to personal development. You guys know this if you followed the show at all, but I will not take advice from someone who I legit won't trade places with personally and professionally. And that's the difference. A lot of people professionally look like they got it all together. They might have the financial abundance, they might have the fancy cars or houses or whatever, toys, but underneath the layer into their personal life, their marriage might be in shambles. They don't even know their kids. They're not that like trustworthy or likable. And so you have to really search out who is leading those communities, those masterminds, and if they're representative of the life that you desire, both personally and professionally. So really great point there. Now, hypothetically, let's say the happy hustlers out there, they're listening to this right now. They're like, all right, I've looked for mastermind communities that resonate with me, but honestly, I just haven't really found one. But I'm thinking maybe I want to create my own. And I know you've successfully launched multiple masterminds. You've been running them for over a decade. Um, what would you say to a happy hustler who wants to create their own mastermind community? What would be the first step?
yeah, really, it's an easy structure to build, right? It's just having some kind of regular cadence in that, depending if this is something you want to monetize or if you just want for your personal benefits. All right.
Mr. Popular.
Business never stops. But yeah, it depends on what your goals are with it at the end of the day. If it's more for personal growth and to kind of build a brotherhood, and not just to monetize it, that's one thing. Like, there's people that make a ton of money in masterminds, but I am not one of those people that tries to, really monetize it as like my main revenue stream, maybe just to cover cost. But it's really, how can it serve you as an individual? So cultivating that group is super important, right? Like you want a balanced dynamic of people, right? Not all the tech people or all of the spiritual people. It's like, how do you mix and match people that each add something very unique, right? So like I'm always trying to really look at the dynamics of each individual person and trying to balance those groups out, and really looking at like a key size anywhere from like 5 to 12 at the max. I would say, trying to steer more in that 5 to 10 person, group size, because it really becomes a little bit more intimate, right? You really get to spend more quality time and understand each individual. If you're structuring, if it's digital calls, maybe you have 60 minutes every week. And if you have 5 people, you're talking, less than 10 minutes with moderation, in between, so like you're not getting a lot of talking time. You're not getting to hear from everybody if it's only 5 people even, but if it starts 10, then that time gets to dwindle of each individual's person's contribution. You don't get to know them as much. So really looking at like kind of that intimate group that's balanced, right? Trying to, find people from each individual field. Someone might be an incredible, at meditation and be able to add a lot of value to the group in bringing that kind of spiritual component. Someone might have, an incredible marketing background. This person might be an incredible person at sales. How they can all like come to help each other and then really finding people that are more we before me,
Mm.
and that's such a key component, that they truly want to give in the group too, and they're not just there to take, and to vent. There's going to be the people that are just trying to like use this as their therapist, and it's not designed to be that. It's really an energy exchange, and you have to give and take, but like you can't, it has to find those people that are very well balanced, and that being said, like there are moments to have that vulnerability and have that, brotherhood support you during tough times. I personally have had it, all of my groups, where I feel so comfortable to be vulnerable and even cry, and that's the beauty of Masterminds, that you have built that trust where you can take your shield off and you can be vulnerable about the problems that you're really facing and get the support that you really need. Because that doesn't happen in your everyday, even friendships or even family. Sometimes you don't have that kind of trust with them because of past scars or wounds.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Apologies for interrupting your programming. But I have to tell you, the best investment you can make in yourself is one in which helps you acquire skills. You've probably heard people talk about, oh, just invest in yourself and you'll be successful. Yes, that's true to a degree, but you have to invest in skills that will ultimately help you achieve your desired results. And I think one of the best skills one can possess, be it an entrepreneur or an aspiring entrepreneur, is the sales sword. Really knowing how to sell, utilizing pressure-free persuasion, which will make you more money and more impact. Now, if you want to know how to sell more efficiently and effectively, I just launched a sales course called The Proven Roadmap Process to Selling Millions of Dollars and helping you to increase your conversions, guaranteed. And you can get access to this new sales course that The Happy Hustle is launching at thehappyhustle.com/sales. And if you act fast, you'll get it at the lowest price it'll ever be available, because we are launching it and we want to gain amazing testimonials and social proof to further share this knowledge. So if you act fast, you can get it at the lowest price it'll ever be. That's at thehappyhustle.com/sales. Now let's get back to this episode.
But with, these brotherhoods, people are going through the similar struggles as you are as an entrepreneur. So it's easy for you to resonate with their advice and be open about the things that you're struggling with.
Yeah, a lot of gold there to unpack. You said we before me. And when you are going to launch a mastermind community, I think that point alone, if you literally focus on how can you serve the community to the deepest ability. And you also mentioned like the diversification of individuals. I think that's a really unique point, because a lot of people try to get everyone who is the same into this one community. I think, yes, it's important to have a commonality, like a through line. Like, okay, for the Happy Hustle Club, for example, we serve purpose-driven male entrepreneurs. That's like our sweet spot, right? Now, there are CEOs and high-level executives that apply to be a part of it. And unfortunately, they don't have that qualifying factor, so they don't get offered a spot. And it's just because we've made that distinction on what is the through line for everybody in there. Now, besides some of these specific through lines that you set for your mastermind and your community, I also think having that diversification in personality, in industry, and creative thinking and process, sometimes in even the DISC assessment or the Enneagram or the Myers-Briggs assessment, you can actually interview people for your mastermind to essentially figure out the best different ingredients to make the most delicious recipe for your mastermind, right? And I think also what would be important to mention here is maybe you don't have the luxury to actually like pick and choose who's going to be in your mastermind because you're just starting it. What would you say when people are just starting their mastermind? They're like, how do I get people to even like join this thing? More on like the sales side of that. Do you have any recommendations when it comes to like actually, selling your mastermind?
Well, It depends. I know everyone hates that, but it really, like he said, depends on the kind of the through line and kind of who you're trying to speak to. If you're talking to artists, it's a very different sales pitch than entrepreneurs, so it really, it depends on what kind of, crowd you're trying to, cultivate. Right. And in that, like, it's just trying to focus on features and benefits, right? Like, and finding people that, really are in a place, see what problem your group is going to solve, and find the people that, are experiencing that problem. Right. So like, even today in our society, we're more and more isolated than ever. So you have such a wide audience of people that are seeking connection, right? They're more connected to their telephone, than the planet or than themselves, even in a lot of spiritual ways. So like right now, people are seeking connection, and there's a big need for these smaller groups of people building communities, really. So how do you cultivate that community? Talk about like the benefits of community, the benefits that your community is going to provide, and the right people will resonate with that, and it doesn't have to be a lot. I think one of Carrie and I's first groups, don't mind the name, but it was accountable as fuck. And we held each other accountable. It was like a Google sheet we started probably 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And the guys that were in that group are still close friends today.
Yeah.
And they still are in some of our other masterminds. And we've all grown so much over the years because of that.
Yep.
And it can start so simple. It was like 5 of us when we started, I believe, where we just meet weekly. But the one thing is like, it's not really on the recruiting side, but really on the ongoing part is like we created our own manifesto. Even if it was like a 1-pager, like, hey, this is what this group is designed to do. We made everyone sign it. That means like there's buy-in, that everyone's going to show up every week, and prioritize it. People have to prioritize it, because if they don't value it, even if it was free, like that group was free, no one paid, but everyone valued it like it was a valuable business meeting that they cannot miss. It went and replaced anything. Even on sick days, people wanted to be on that call because they knew the value they were going to get out of it, because we've cultivated something, that was really, important and significant to each one of us as individuals. And they're so nice to connect with those brothers. So, it really just depends on what you guys are really, what kind of community you want to create. And then, what kind of terms do you want to put in place in that? But I do recommend, having some structure behind it and holding people accountable to that structure. Because if not, it's some of those friend groups that just, go by the wayside. But you really have to, have the right people that want to be there, and that's just by clearly outlining what's it all about, and starting with, the why of the group, and that why and those benefits will attract the right tribe for you.
Yeah, man, I love all that. Gosh, bringing it back to Accountable AF. I mean, that was a great group. And, one of the things that we did that was unique was we not only had structure and buy-in from everybody, but we also had something that I have never seen another mastermind do. And I've told some people about this, and they were like mind blown. But we actually had stakes. We had consequences. Specifically, we had cash accountability. And I want to explain this concept briefly. Cash accountability means if you don't do what you say you're going to do in the mastermind, you will forfeit your cash. If you do what you say you're going to do, you get your cash back and you get to split the pot earnings. So as a part of our Happy Hustle Club, I'll even just explain it further. We have cash accountability, meaning every single meeting you have money at stake. Now, if you don't show up for the meeting, you don't get your money back. If you don't do your goals, you don't get your money back. It gets forfeited to the pot. Now, if you do show up for the meeting, you do your session goals, which are very clearly outlined on the Excel document, and they have to be SMART goals, meaning specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. If you do accomplish your goals, both personally and professionally, and you have to have goal proof. That's a key thing there. You got to have proof, even though we have the honor system in the Happy Hustle Club, just because we're all quite honest, I would say, but you still want to have goal proof because that makes the goal more tangible. And if you can't prove it, then it's obviously not a smart goal. So you have to make sure that you set smart goals. And then if you do set smart goals and you do show up on the meeting, you do accomplish your tasks, well, you get to split the pot earnings and get your money back. So people actually make money in our mastermind because they do what they say they're going to do, and then other people unfortunately don't. So it's a fun way to gamify it. I highly recommend putting structure at the minimum. And then if you want to level up and do some cash accountability, I'm happy to talk further. You can actually, send me a DM on Instagram if you want to know more about cash accountability. My team will field it, and we'll see how many people actually want. Maybe we'll do another episode on it. But Grant, final thoughts on Masterminds, and specifically tell people about the Montana Mastermind Epic Camping Adventure coming up this summer. We are going to do a shameless plug here because it's that awesome, and we're very proud of it because honestly, it changes lives. It helps you disconnect from all the noise and just reconnect to yourself while mixing business with pleasure in the beautiful backcountry wilderness. So Grant, tell them about the Montana Mastermind Epic Camping Adventure.
Oh man, it's so beautiful, to be honest. Like, it brings tears to my eyes, and it not just, I've hosted it with Gary. I've been a paying customer for years, and I also just love it. It's so nice to get away from society and like really just be out in beautiful backcountry wilderness, and the nature that I love so deeply, these beautiful mountain streams and lakes and fly fishing, and just being off your phone for 5 days
Amen.
is such a pleasure. And it couldn't be nicer. And like, it seems scary at first every year. It's like, how can I be away from my loved ones during these tough times, or my business is going to do this or that. Like, it is the most rewarding experience you're going to get to truly digitally detox, being present. Like, you start to really, connect and ground with the rising of the sun every day and going down, because you don't even know what time it is. And that's great. When's the last time you lost track of what time? When's your next meeting? When your next thing to do is just, to go fishing or to go learn some primitive survival skills, really, more than that, it's about the people, right? So like, I have had the pleasure of being on every Montana Mastermind so far because I just love it. But really the people that Carrie puts together there is such a mindful, cultivated group, right? It's like he's saying, it's a diversified group of entrepreneurs that are all seeking to do great things for our planet, or in their individual businesses, really impact driven entrepreneurs. And we just have the ability to truly go deep. Like I was saying before, not just transactional relationships. All of the guys on every one of the masterminds have become brothers of mine now. Staying in touch regularly, going to visit their family homes, spending time traveling with them outside of these masterminds, all started, at the Montana Mastermind. I've done millions of dollars in business with some of these gentlemen, but more than that, like, just really being able to talk through some tough times in my life with them around the campfire in Montana. Not only did I make money on some of the deals that I did there, but I saved millions of dollars by going through, the problems that I was facing, learning from the wisdom of other entrepreneurs that have faced those problems, solve those problems, and learning how to avoid problems that other people are dealing with when they're going through their shares, through all the other wisdom that everyone else is going through. So like, it's been so impactful from like the nature side of being able to truly slow down, be out in the backcountry, then the business side of what you get out of it, then the health side, right? It's like, I always feel rejuvenated, recalibrated, ready to like seize life and feel so vibrant and healthy, and my energy restored. Even though we're putting in some hard work hiking these mountains, you leave revitalized, also hitting the hot springs at the end, to be able to, really get that mineral water in your body to soak all the weary bones. But just like, your energy is at a whole new level. When you leave there, I feel just ready to, attack my biggest problems. And I'm actually saving all that 5 days that I, with taken off of work. I actually got back in the hyper productivity and the clarity that I leave with every time.
Wow. I mean, I don't think I could have said it better myself. I feel very passionate about creating containers that people can be unapologetically themselves and share the raw truth and really grow as happy hustlers. And, for me, it's all about blissful balance, right? Just creating that blissful balance personally and professionally. So if you have been running hot in your business and you're a male purpose-driven entrepreneur, we are going to do a couples one. So if you are female and you have a entrepreneur who is your counterpart and you want to apply too, don't let this just think it's for males. We do have a couples one coming, but if you're feeling a little stressed, maybe a little overwhelmed, maybe you want to experience the Montana Mastermind Epic Camping Adventure for yourself, highly recommend going to thehappyhustle.com/mastermind and apply today and see if it's a fit. I really appreciate you, Grant, hanging out. This has been an amazing episode. I hope everyone's just fired up about going on a search to either create their own mastermind or join a mastermind. But regardless, this is something that if you want to win in your life, both personally and professionally, surround yourself with like-minded individuals who can raise your vibration accordingly. And I think a mastermind is the single best way to do that. So this is awesome. Grant, any final closing remarks?
If you want to be an eagle, you have to soar with the eagles, right? You have to spend the time with the people that, are really going to level you up in life. And masterminds are one of the fastest ways to get there, is really creating quality relationships with quality people, right? Find those people that are going to drive you to the next level, that have maybe been there, done that, or are on a fast track in that direction, that share similar values and goals as you. Surround yourself with them. They're going to help you go a lot further than some of those, anchors or energy vampires that are weighing you down right now. So, really surround yourself with the right people. Find those eagles in your life, whatever that definition of success and eagle means to you. Find those people and, make the time, put the effort in, spend the money. It's the best investment that you'll ever do is in yourself and leveling up in that way. And I hope to see you guys on the Montana Mastermind, because it is one heck of an adventure and it's something I promise you will not regret.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for watching and listening. We so appreciate you. And I will do one more shameless plug. If you want to know more about the Happy Hustle Club, you can go to thehappyhustleclub.com. And if you want to apply for the Montana Mastermind, again, that link is thehappyhustle.com/mastermind. So it can all be found at that website, thehappyhustle.com. But if you want those individual links, we'll link them up in the show notes. Regardless, I hope you guys keep on happy hustling your dream reality, and we are out. Peace and love.